Okay, thank you very much. And now I lost my phone, so I don't know what time it is, but I guess it's time for a keynote. So let me introduce to you an old friend and kind of a grand old man in disability policies and practical work from Sweden, Lars Lindberg, who is nowadays a senior advisor at the Nordic Welfare Center. But he has a long history in Swedish policymaking from the Ministry of Social Affairs and also in the disability rights movement. And he's behind many of the studies and investigations on disability and inclusion affairs in Sweden. So I'm really happy to have him here being our keynote and setting the scene for the day by talking about digital inclusion in the whole Nordic region. And we may also have him mic'd up, and then it becomes much easier for this whole thing to happen. I can tell you what I forgot to say yesterday. We had a very engaging workshop yesterday. So we are usually combining these events with the workshops for members, where we are discussing the requirements that are in the European standard, the EN 301549, but that are not covered in the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. So there are a lot of interpretation discussions going on, and we think it's a really good idea to have all the stakeholders around the table and have discussions around this. So we had one of those workshops yesterday, and we will present the result in a webinar in 2 weeks from now, in the 13th of February. We'll get back to information and also put links in the chat with that. But what I forgot to say with all of you that were in the workshop, and also for all of you who are here today, is that, of course, this event is eligible for cakes for all of you that have IAAP certification. Now I can see Lars has the microphone. So please, Lars Lindberg, take it away.
Morning, everyone. Hello. Hello. Okay, great. Thank you. It's always a little bit complicated when we have hearing aid and a cochlear implant with this kind of microphone. So I hope it will work out and not fall at the floor. Thank you. A few words. I'm representing, and I will also talk about the work of the Nordic Welfare Center and the Nordic cooperation and work on the digital field. First, a few words about the Nordic Welfare Center. We are one of the 12 Nordic institutions under the Nordic Council of Ministers, and we have an office both here in Helsinki and in Stockholm, but I work in Stockholm. Our mission is to work very much to contribute to the welfare policy and initiatives by compiling, disseminating knowledge and on welfare issues. And also, most of our target audience are politicians, decision-makers, and researchers, and also civil society. Most of our work is focused on welfare policy, but we also have several assignments on digitalization and the labor market, for instance, both for people with disabilities and other groups. We also serve as secretariat for the Disability Council. And this is a Nordic Council on Cooperation. And so to bring together 16 experts from all Nordic countries. And they are also a consultative body for the Nordic Council of Ministers. And they're also following up the program on Nordic Program for Cooperation. And the program consists of 3 parts: human rights, participation, and freedom of movement. A few words about our work regarding digital inclusion. Important to know that all of our work all over with the Nordic Institute. The basis is the Nordic Vision 2030. And the overall vision is that all our work should be contribute to that the Nordic region become the most sustainable integrated region in the world by 2030. There is also a link between to the United Nations Sustainable Goals and the Agenda 2030. And the Nordic Vision was adopted by the Nordic Prime Minister in 2019. And what we should be is a green Nordic region, a competitive Nordic region, and a socially sustainable region. And then we have a different kind of cooperation program. There are 14. One is about digitalization, and the goal is the Nordic region should be the most digital integrated region by 2030. And then there are also several sub-goals also cover accessibility and digital inclusion. Now I will present a few ongoing works. There have been several works, but I just want to tell a short background also. There have been a long history of different kind of projects and work. One of the most notable milestones was the Nordic Guideline for Computer Accessibility, which was adopted in 1993, so it's a long time ago. And then it was also one of the first guidelines in the world regarding accessibility in the ICT sector. And then there also been a lot of different kind of projects on innovation on assistive technology. But now there is more of the focus on digital inclusion, both identifying barriers and measures for digital inclusion. For instance, also artificial intelligence in working life, which I have been a project manager for a project for. One notable project that is digital inclusion in action, which is organized by Nordregio, one of our sister institutions, which is also situated in Stockholm, which is a research project that has been going on since 2021. And which is focusing on social group at risk of being digitally excluded, among them most persons with disabilities. And they also have a website, Nordic Atlantic DigiHub, where you can find a lot of the publication. And the aims of this project is to contribute to inclusive digital and transition, and result both in the Nordic countries and the Baltic societies, and also getting some kind of collaboration on the work and a dialogue. Some of the publications have been case studies regarding, for instance, here in Denmark, and also have been a mapping of how a civil society organization can work for contributing to digital inclusion. And also how it's possible to monitor it by different way. So this collection is also, this publication is a collection of different kind of indicators that you can find both on European level and Nordic level. The Nordic Welfare Center conducted and organized a project on inclusive work in life, and the focus was on artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. So we also published several reports and knowledge reviews, and also organized different kind of webinars. We all you can find on our website. 2023, we also conducted a mapping of different kinds of studies that focused on social perspectives and impact of universal design. So there was a mapping of different kinds of studies that were conducted all over the world. And it was conducted together with Norwegian Directorate Bufdir. And there were 4 parts, and one of it was housing and transport and ICT. And altogether 45 studies. The report is in Swedish, but there is an extensive summary and with all of the studies that have been identified. We are also continuing to work now. We are now organizing a new project on AI and assistive technology in working life, but now we focus on innovation and other measures that also needed for the digital inclusion, like training and support and so on. And we're also planning a major project on the implementation of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and how we can follow it and to follow up on Nordic level, the implementation in Nordic countries by indicators and data. And those, one of the focus would be then also Article 9, which is about accessibility. So there, please follow us on our website, and we'll find much more information that will be published during the year. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You will also get a small fika thing. You know fika already, so I don't need to describe that for you. But thank you very much, Lars. And don't go away from me, please. You are disappearing from me, but don't do that. We got questions from the audience, so if you could stay on for just a second. So the first question I got, you will love this. It's which
this microphone and
yeah, it's still on.
It's not so yes. To have it this way. Okay. I'll put it out. Okay. No, I can't keep it this way.
So which
I was afraid it would fall down all the time, so it was that. Yes.
So the question was, which one of the Nordic countries is the best one for accessibility? You will love this.
Well, it's difficult to answer because it depends on what you are looking at. If you're looking at building, housing, transport, or ICT. But what you can see that Norway also had put in a lot of efforts on implementing universal design, and it was and as you know, but if you should be very scientific how you evaluate it, you will see there are no really good ways to monitor for comparison. But I can see also that there have been putting more efforts in Norway regarding on policy level, and you can also was a very interesting surveys that were conducted by the Human Rights Institutes in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, and they also could see the attitudes towards universal design and attitude, and it was very clear that in Norway there was a better attitude also regarding so on. But I wouldn't say that she forgot, because when it comes to the concrete, we want to look at it. So I can't say exactly you aim it. I think all of the countries are good at different things.
Yeah, and we usually say that in Finland, we are very impressed by the interpretation services, which are, I think, leading in the Nordic countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, then we know that we cannot know now, but Norway is doing a good job. That's reassuring. Okay.
Hopefully, we also will find some kind of indicator so we could get also conducting some kind of comparison. So that is one of the things we aim at in our future project.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have another question maybe from the audience? Anyone? Quick one? No? Okay, so thank you, Lars. Thank you for coming, and give him a big applause. We can move on.